Hello, everybody, and welcome to to the webinar today with how I sold 30,000 copies of my book on Amazon. But it's not me who sold 30,000 copies of my book on Amazon, which I am very jealous that why it's not me, but it's Martin Crosby. But so you're wondering who I am. It's an interesting thing. I didn't introduce myself, Martin. Hey. Okay, so I'm Iman Agai. I'm the founder of Success Road Academy and your host for today. And Martin, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, man. It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. Actually, I got to tell you, I usually don't go to a lot of events recently. Like I go to a lot of events, but I go to a lot of events as a speaker. And once in a while, I end up in going to different events, and I'm just in the back of the room and listen to the speakers. And I'm like, yeah, good speech, good talk, great work. But once in a while, there is one person who amazes me with what they are talking and what they are talking about, and the way that they talk about it, and the authenticity of that person, and the experience. You know, I love to learn from people who have done things, you know, and they go out and they teach exactly what they've done to other people. Because one of the challenges that I think we have in the market is that we have a lot of people who are out there and are talking about doing things, but they build their own business some absolutely other way. So they go and tell other people what to do, but that's not what they are doing. They are doing absolutely other things. But when I find a person who actually is doing what he's saying, so he talks the walk, he walks the talk, right? That's the person that I really want to listen to, and I really want. And about 2 weeks ago, I was at this event at Vancouver Business Network, and I heard and I had the pleasure really to hear Martin Crosby's presentation on how he sold 30,000 copies of his books on Kindle on Amazon. And it takes really a lot from a person to impress me with the presentation that they have, but Martin really blew me away with his presentation. It was an amazing talk, and I loved it. I just loved his presentation, and I thought, well, I definitely have to have Martin to come out and share his information and knowledge with people, with my friends, with my network, and he can come out and, you know, teach them how to do marketing and how to write their own books, especially after what I thought about the power of combining my marketing knowledge with what Martin is doing about book marketing. It just was something that I couldn't resist having Martin on the webinar. And Martin, thank you very much for accepting to be on the webinar. I really appreciate it.
I really appreciate being here. It's such an honor to be here, and I do appreciate all the things that you just said. I can tell you that when I first published my books, I made a lot of mistakes, and fortunately, I was willing to listen to some kind mentors and accept the guidance that was given to me and correct those mistakes. And I'm happy to be able to pass along those guidelines to you today. And you know, I was thinking earlier, what a wonderful world that we live in, that I can be sitting in my office and you're in your office, and people spread all over wherever they are, and we can share all this information. It really is. Technology is absolutely wonderful, isn't it?
It's amazing. Actually, Martin, this is a funny thing that you said, but today I'm actually kind of like on a today actually I woke up this morning, I looked at my schedule, and I'm like, okay, today is a weird technology day for me, because I had a 9 to 9:30 phone like coaching call on the phone, and then I had a 10 to 11:30 group coaching call on a webinar, and then I had a 12 to 1 radio show, and now to 2 I have this webinar with you, and then I have another session. So I was looking at this, and I'm like, holy, like really, I'm having so much like technology, and really I don't know what we could do without all of this technology.
Yeah, no, we certainly couldn't do this, and it's an interesting way for me to introduce my presentation, because my whole career is about connecting with readers and connecting with people and finding ways to do that. So it's really awesome that I can sit at my computer screen and you know, connect with so many of you guys.
Okay, that's awesome. Just before Martin, I just leave you with a presentation and allow you to start. I just want to talk to our attendees as well, and I want to thank you guys for coming on the show and listening to this webinar. It means a lot to me for having you on this show, and I'm sure that it's really great to have people like you to be here. And I'm seeing all your messages and chats that is like you're excited, and we are excited really to share this information with you. And here's the thing, on the right side of your screen, you can see a chat box that you can go to that chat box and you can chat with us, ask your questions, communicate with each other, talk with each other. Actually, a lot of my webinars are usually like a lot of people are talking to each other and asking questions from us, and that's what we want. We want your excitement, we want your attendance, and we want you to ask questions and be part of this. Doesn't mean because you are on the other side we can't hear you. We can hear you, and we are here for you, and we want to help you a lot. Okay, let's get started. And Martin, let's go ahead.
Thank you, Ned. That was great, and I'm going to go to my screen, so I'll be able to walk through this with everybody. And from my screen, of course, I can't see the chat box and the questions, so just jump in, E-Man, if there's a question that I can address. And yeah, thanks everybody for taking your time. I've come to believe that our most precious commodity is our time. So for you guys to take time out of your day and to come and listen to me, I really do appreciate it. As E-Man mentioned, I gave this presentation or a similar presentation a few weeks ago, and he listened in, and then we had a really good chat afterwards, and we spoke about some of the essential components involved in producing a professional ebook. And my mandate is to show authors that you can produce a professional product that will stack up against any traditionally published ebook, and you can do it without breaking the bank. So for the next little while, I'm going to take you through my process and show you what I do to produce my books, and tell you a little bit about my story and the mistakes I made and the things I did to correct it. My current count of paid ebooks is well over 40,000, so I'm a pretty lucky guy. And I've given away over 150,000 ebooks in the last few years too, and we'll visit that briefly too. So I'll take you through my process, and I'll answer as many questions as I can. And at the end of the webinar, I'm going to invite you to a workshop that I'm holding in November, a weekend-long workshop. And during the workshop, we basically hold your hand and take you through the whole process, and by the end of it, you'll either have published your book or you'll be ready to publish your book, and you'll be able to connect with readers and hopefully start receiving royalty checks too. Who am I? Because I could be anybody. The Globe and Mail wrote an article about me a couple of years ago, and they dedicated a whole page in their weekend edition to my self-publishing journey. And they called me a traditional publishing reject, and I was the guy that didn't make the team. I had wanted to get T-shirts printed with traditional publishing reject at the time, but I haven't actually done that yet. I had written a book. I wrote a book 3 or 4 years ago, and I thought I had a pretty good book. I sent it out to beta readers, and we'll discuss beta readers shortly. Beta readers are test readers who will give you impartial input on your work. And I sent it out to beta readers, and the results were good. The beta readers liked my work, and they wanted more. But I couldn't get a traditional publisher or agent to take a chance on my book. And I tried. At last count, I had over 130 submissions, and they all came back with no's. So I was declined over and over again. And it's a business decision. They felt that they wouldn't be able to market my book and find readers for my book and make money from my book. So as I received those rejection letters in the mail or by email, I would print them up, and I posted them all over my walls, and I ran out of wall space, so I had them on my fridge, and I used them to motivate me. One of the things we need to do is believe in our work. And I believed in my work, and I felt there were readers for my work, and I felt I would be able to connect with readers. The results from my betas were coming back good, so I needed a way to find readers for my work. So I self-published. I utilized that huge online encyclopedia that's available to us out there, Facebook, and I interacted with other self-published authors, and I got a lot of help, and I was able to publish my book. So my first book went live at the end of 2011, and I quickly sold a couple of hundred books, and was doing okay, but there were a lot of authors who were selling a lot more books than I was. There were authors selling tens of thousands of books each month, and there still are. And I wanted to be one of them, so I started contacting other authors and asking for advice, and I got it. I had a lot of advice given to me. Some authors sent long, lengthy emails telling me what I was doing wrong and what I was doing right. And I listened, and I made some changes. And because of those changes, I was able to connect with a lot of readers. My first book hit top 10 on Amazon's overall charts, and when it peaked, it was selling 3,000 ebooks a day. I was featured in Publishers Weekly, and Forbes interviewed me, and I had all kinds of wonderful things happen. It was truly a surreal time, and the best part of it was people were reading my book and connecting with me and emailing and asking for more. So because of that initial success at the beginning of 2012, I was able to quit my job and start writing full-time. In the last year, I've taken a little part-time job at my old day job, but the majority of my income comes from writing. So I'm a very, very lucky guy. So now I'm going to take you through the process that I use to produce my books. And this process has come from, as I said, making mistakes and making adjustments. And this is what I use today in order to produce my product and connect with readers. So there's 4 essential components, as you can see from the screen. There's content preparation. Everything that we do is contingent on having a good book. We need to have a product, whether it's fiction or nonfiction, that readers want to read. If we don't have a book that readers want to read, we can market it all we want and come up with all kinds of imaginative methods, but if the product isn't something that readers want to read, it's not going to go anywhere. So the first part is content preparation. Then we're going to talk about product presentation. We need to be able to produce a professional product. And we're also going to talk about marketing. This is how we connect with our readers. And at the end, we're going to talk about balance, because I'm going to give you an awful lot of information, and by the end of the webinar, and certainly by the end of the weekend workshop that I teach, your head will be spinning with all this information, and you'll wonder when you're going to do any writing. The 4th component is balance, and I'm going to show you how you can write more than you are doing non-writing related tasks. So we're going to study each one of those components today. And the first one is content preparation. And content preparation involves taking our draft to beta readers, then editors, proofreaders, editors again, and then formatters. So I want to break down each one of those different parts of the process. Beta readers, my first beta readers were, I produced my book, and I thought I had a pretty good book, and I submitted it to friends and family, and the input that I got from friends and family, they all said it was awesome. They said it was awesome. That was the word that kept coming back. When I looked a little closer, I determined that they weren't actually saying I had an awesome book. They were saying it was awesome that I'd written a book. And that was good too, but I needed to know if I had a book that random readers would enjoy reading. So I needed beta readers. I needed test readers that would tell me what I really had. So I actually used friends of my sisters who didn't know me, and we submitted my work to them, and they came back with input, and they told me about character development and helped me with some copy editing and gave me general input. So that was the first beta readers that I had. Since then, I've needed to stretch a little further, and I find beta readers through Facebook and LinkedIn groups. There's a new site called Book Owl, bookowl.com, that is handy in terms of finding beta readers. And beta readers will give you what they've got. Some of them will come back with a line-by-line copy edit. Others will give you just an overall feeling of how the book made them feel. Or others will give you character development or tell you about plot holes. So you get a little different things from different beta readers. I use as many beta readers as I possibly can. I released or I wrote a romance novel towards the end of last year. I'd had a number of friends who'd written seasonal novels and or seasonal romances, and I thought I could do the same thing. So I wrote a Christmas romance, and I finished it in about September last year, and I submitted it to 8 or 10 beta readers, and the results came back positive. So I thought I had a good book, but it was a genre I hadn't written in yet. I hadn't tackled romance yet. So I submitted it to. I was fortunate. I have a friend who's a high-profile romance author, and she suggested that I submit my work to her beta readers. So I was fortunate enough to send it out to her 18 or 20 beta readers. They had my book for 10 days, and they came back with their input. And they thought I had a good book, the writing was good, but they did not believe it was a traditional romance. They felt there were some problems in terms of fitting into that genre, and they suggested that if I released it as a traditional romance, I'd get killed. The reviews would be poor, and it didn't fit into the type of romance that romance readers were looking for. So I took my book and made some changes and determined that I couldn't make all the changes they wanted because my muse would not allow me to. I determined that I just couldn't color within the lines, and I came up with something that is not a traditional romance, but I still thought would resonate with readers. So I sent it out to yet another group of beta readers, and the results that came back from those beta readers were very positive. So I released my book for Christmas of last year, and it did very well. It was #1 in holiday romances and knocked some big names out of there and did very well. Excuse me. And then I ran another promotion on my Christmas book at the end of summer because Christmas romances, believe it or not, sell well during the summer. So I released I ran a promotion in August and did very, very well with it. Hit number 46 overall on Amazon's rankings, which means I was selling over 1,000 books a day, and the book did very well. Without that initial input from the beta readers, it would not have. It would not have done what it's done for me so far. So beta readers are imperative in terms of getting your book to that next stage before it goes to the editor. So again, I find beta readers through Facebook and LinkedIn groups. If you go to the search bar in Facebook or LinkedIn and type in beta readers, you will indeed find beta reader groups. And some of them are closed groups, so you'll have to ask to join and then read the rules, and you'll be able to find beta readers. Some authors send their beta readers a questionnaire. I don't do that. I believe that you get what you get from beta readers. So my beta readers send me what they've got, and it allows me to take my work to the next step. And the next step, as you can see from the slide, is editors. And if I have enough beta readers, when my manuscript gets to the editing part of the process, I only need a copy edit. I don't need a substantive edit. If I need a substantive edit, if the editor looks at my work and feels it's going to need a substantive edit, and a substantive edit is more expensive, of course, then I need to go back to beta readers and have my beta readers look at it again. I need to work on it again before it goes through the process once more. So because I use so many beta readers, my work only needs a copy edit, which brings my cost down considerably. I use a professional editor. My first editor was a retired English professor who did a very nice job, but she wasn't a professional editor. I need somebody who's reading books and editing for a living, so I use a professional. And you'll find a professional by utilizing your support group and talking to other authors that you meet through social networks. And again, I stress that you use professionals only. So the next part of the process is proofreaders. My book has been beta read and has gone through the editing process. So now I need another read. So I go back to beta readers once again. So you can see that beta readers are very important, and you need to find as many of them as you can. So I go back to beta readers, and if at that point the beta readers have made a number of suggestions and I've made the changes, I go back to another editor and have my book edited again. This is a different editor this time, and this is usually a short, inexpensive edit because I haven't made a lot of changes, but it gives me another set of eyes that's going to look at my work before I actually upload it and get it live available for readers. Excuse me. And the final part of this process is formatters. Excuse me. I need a formatter who's going to format my file so that I can upload it to Amazon, to KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing, and I want them to format it if I'm producing a print book too. So they'll give me a table of contents and page numbers for the print book, and for the ebook an interactive table of contents. So I hire a professional formatter also. So that was the final part of the first component. The second component we're going to talk about is the product presentation. This is where we need to make our product look as professional as any traditionally published book that's on the market. And it's very easy to do that. So I'm going to talk about covers, of course, because covers are very important. I'm going to talk about Author Central, which is a free program. It's one of Amazon's tools. I'm going to talk about blurbs or synopsis, and I'm going to talk about the categories that you can enter your book into. This is the route that I took in terms of finding the best cover for my book. So if you guys would like to just look at the image in the top left-hand corner, this was the original cover for my book. My first book is called My Temporary Life, as you can see, and the image, I purchased this image and put the text on there, of course, and uploaded this cover. My thinking at the time was if I could just get my work out there, the world will recognize my brilliance. I just need to get it out there. It doesn't matter what it looks like. The world will just recognize how brilliant this work is, and I'll have thousands of readers, and the royalty checks will pour in. And of course, that didn't happen because this cover is not indicative of my story. In my story, there is a male and a female, and it looks like that's a male and a female, a man and a woman in the picture. In my novel, there are no real hills. Nobody stands on a hill. Nobody's holding a staff, which it looks like one of the characters is on this. And this cover has kind of a religious, almost spiritual feel to it, and that's not what my book was about, or that's not what my book is about. Again, I just thought if I had a nice cover, it would get out there and people would read the book and love it, and that's not the case. You need a cover that's going to be indicative of your work, and you need a cover that's a good cover. So if you look at the cover to the right of that, this was a cover that I went to next. This cover was available through Amazon's Cover Creator program. Their Cover Creator program is a free tool that you can use, and they have a library of covers, and you can play with colors and the font of the text and play with it a little bit and come out with a cover. So I came out with a cover, and that second cover has been very, very good to me. I've sold thousands of that book with that cover. It's more contemporary looking cover, and it's indicative of my story. So that cover worked out for me for a long time. After the cover had been out for a while, readers alerted to me that there was another cover that was very similar, and that's the cover to the right of the middle cover there. An author had used the same cover through Cover Creator and come up with the same cover as the cover is on my book. So now I had a cover that was confusing because there was another book out there with the same cover. So I had to go to the third method of creating cover, and that's to hire a cover designer. And this was the best move I made. I searched for a cover designer by going on Amazon's product pages and looking at books that were in my genre and contacting the authors who were selling books and had covers that I thought were good covers. one name kept coming up, and it was a cover designer who works for a traditional publishing house and moonlights for self-published authors on the side. And he came up with a cover that's at the bottom of the page, and it was a much better cover for me, and I own this cover. So that was a good move after going through the other processes. These are the all the covers of my current books that he came up with. And the thing I like best about this guy is he almost seems like he's a little bit psychic. I gave him a rough idea of what I'm looking for, and he never reads my books, but he comes back with something that always works. The book in the top left corner is the follow-up to my first book, and the book to the right of that is my self-publishing guidebook. Below that, I have a short story collection and my romance book that I wrote. All of these covers have won awards through online cover judging sites, and he does a really nice job of covers. My cost for my covers is under $200 per cover, so it's very affordable in the grand scheme of things. And I'm going to show you, once you release your book, how it's quite easy to earn your initial investment back. So I would never use a method other than employing a cover designer to get my cover. And as you can see, the covers look every bit as professional as any other cover on the market. Author Central is another component, or one of Amazon's tools that we can use to connect with readers, and we can start setting this up before our book is released or as our book is released. Author Central is like having your own free personal website. And I'm a believer that anytime Amazon gives you a tool and asks you to enter information, you should enter the information, because they're diverting eyeballs to that area. So Author Central is somewhere that you can enter your book information. When you first publish your book, you want to go to Author Central and claim your book immediately. That way your name will be hyperlinked, and people will have the connection between your name and the book title. You can post your Twitter link, coming events. If you have a blog, which you should have, you can post that on there too. So Author Central is very important in terms of connecting with readers. There's foreign editions for Author Central too, so you can enter your information on there. And if you released a print book, you enter your print book information on there also. So we break down Author Central more on our weekend-long workshop, and go right to the Author Central site and show you how to do it, how to enter all the information, and how well it works in terms of connecting with readers. Your blurb or synopsis is your book description. It's the description of what happens within the pages. And if there's one thing that I've learned about writing blurbs, is authors usually, including myself, are not very good at writing them. We want to include every little bit of detail in our synopsis, and we don't know when to stop, and it's very difficult to write a synopsis of your own work. So I get help. My first synopsis was actually written by one of the authors who I asked for help, who was a major best-selling author, still is, but he just released a book that was doing very well, and he rewrote my synopsis for me. And I used versions of that synopsis for a long time in terms of showing my book on my product page. So your synopsis is very important. People are going to look at your product page, they're going to see the cover, the title, and then their eyes will stray to the synopsis or product description. So I would encourage you to ask for help. We have a mini exercise that we do within our weekend workshop, where you will have lots of help with your synopsis, and you'll have some amazing input into ways to rewrite your synopsis. I always ask for help. I start writing my synopsis as I'm writing my work. I change and modify as time goes along. If my books stall for a few days, I might play with my synopsis and perk it up a little bit. And you'll need a synopsis of varying lengths. Once your book is out, you'll have interview opportunities with online magazines and blog talk radio and so forth, and they will need a synopsis of either 100 or 200 or 250 words. So So keep different length synopsises handy so that you can submit them to these different sites. Once your book is out, your book will be reviewed, and hopefully you'll have positive reviews. I've used parts of reviews in areas of my synopsis. My readers tend to be able to describe what I can say in 300 or 400 words very well in just a couple of sentences. So from time to time, I've taken a snippet of a review and used it in my synopsis, and it's a great way to tell potential readers what my book is about. Here's a couple of examples of a synopsis. This is for my self-publishing guidebook, and you may be able to see on this slide, or you may not be able to see, some of those words are highlighted in bold. The book description, then the date is, and then outlines, shows, how, and includes are boldened. In order to do that, there's two areas where you can enter your synopsis, either through your KDP dashboard when you first upload your book, or through Author Central, which we just talked about. If you enter your synopsis through Author Central, you'll be able to play with it a little bit and put some bolden the words in there. So again, during the workshop, we'll show you how to enter your synopsis through Author Central. I'm going to show you one more here. Here's the synopsis from my product page from my first book. So you can see there's some bold in there. There's some italicized areas where there's a part of a review, and it makes it a little prettier. So you have the two methods of entering your synopsis. Whichever one you use last is the one that'll show up on your product page. So you want to use Author Central to enter your synopsis so that you can make it more attractive to the eye and hopefully entice readers to have a look at your book. If there's one area that I wish I had much more time to talk about, it's categories, because there truly is a foolproof way of picking categories that will help you almost guarantee a way to become a #1 bestseller in your category when you run a promotion. During the workshop, we show how to pick your categories. You're allowed to pick 2 categories for your ebooks, and one should be a category that is popular. So if for my first book, for example, I was in romantic suspense. Romantic suspense is a huge category, and there's thousands of books in there and a lot of best-selling authors, and I was fortunate enough I was #1 or #2 in that category for quite a while. So that was a great category to be in. The second category that you want to pick is a category that's winnable. So during the workshop, we show you how to determine how many books are in each category and how many books the top authors in that category are actually indeed selling. So you want to pick a category that's winnable so that when you run a promotion, and we're going to talk about promotions shortly, when you run a promotion, you're able to, and you're selling hundreds or thousands or maybe even tens of thousands of books, you're going to go to #1 in your category. When you go to #1 in your category, you can, of course, market yourself as an Amazon #1 bestseller, and Amazon gives you a little badge beside your book on your product page that will show readers that you have a #1 best-selling book. So during the workshop, we break it down and show you exactly how to pick categories, and so that you'll become a #1 bestseller. The key thing to remember is 2 categories, one popular and heavily populated, and the other one winnable, one that has less books in it that you know you can get to #1. So we'll break it down and show you exactly how to do that. Categories is an area that you want to monitor once your book's out, and you may want to change your categories from time to time to expose yourself to different readers. I know everybody's head is probably spinning with all this information. I wish I could see you guys, but I can't.
Martin, before you continue, actually we have a question here from Antoine, and he's asking if you can share the name of the cover designer.
Absolutely, I'm happy to. His name is, on my website at martincrosbie.com, and Crosbie is C-R-O-S-B-I-E. There's a tab at the top of the page, and it's Author's Tools. If you click on Authors Tools, it shows my team. It shows a number of things under that tab. It shows where you can find reviewers and review sites, places to promote your book, where you can find images and photos for free, but it also has an area where it says My Team. That shows you my cover designer, my editor, my formatter, so you feel free to contact them. My formatter's name is Juan Ayres, so that's J-U-N, and his last name is A-R-E-S. And his email address is real simple. It's AresJune, so A-R-E-S-J-U-N @gmail.com. And that information is under the Authors tab, or Authors Tools tab on my site, as well as my editor and all those other people.
Yeah, and I just put a sticky on top of the chat box to Martin's website in case you didn't get his website address. So it's martincrosby.com. I just put a sticky up there on the chat box so you can click on it, and then it takes you to Martin's website. Okay.
Thank you.
Sorry, Martin, for interruption. Go ahead.
No, keep them coming, you guys. If there's more questions, it's good. This is awesome. And then I know that I'm talking to somebody. This is a good. So marketing, we either love or we hate marketing. My background is sales and marketing. I've trained salespeople and created promotions and marketing events my whole professional life. So I enjoy it. It's something that I like doing. When I first released my book and it did so well, then things came back to normal and I was selling fairly consistently, but I couldn't reach the heights that I had earlier. So I wanted to find it. I wanted to find what you do to continue selling books. The best thing that you can do, by the way, is write a great book. You know, go and practice writing and write a great book. That's the best way to connect with readers. There's one of three things that are going to happen when you release your book. Either your book will come out and it'll race to the top of the charts and stay there with no marketing and no social media interaction, and believe me, that happens. It happens over and over again, and I hope it happens to one of you guys. It didn't happen to me. The second thing that might happen is you release your book and you may do a little bit of a promotion, and it'll go up in the charts, and then it'll settle in that 8,000 to 20,000 overall level in Amazon's rankings. And what that translates to is 15 to 30 books a day sold, which is great. That's a nice, consistent stream of revenue that'll be coming your way, and then you can go and work on another book. The third thing that might happen when you release your book is your book will perform when it's promoted and you do a promotion, and then it'll go back to normal, and it'll only reach the heights when you run a promotion. That's what happens with mine. My books need work. I need to find ways to reach readers, and I'm always looking for different ways to connect with readers. When I was first looking for new ways, I did a couple of different things. I thought to myself, well, where do people have Kindle e-readers? Where are they e-reading? Where are they reading e-books mostly? And obviously I can't break into everybody's bedroom at night and hand out a business card, but I thought, what about the airport? People read as they get on the plane. So I wandered around Vancouver Airport for about an hour and a half. Fortunately, security didn't approach me, and I handed out business cards. And I said, hey, I'm a local author. Maybe you'd like to have a look at my book, and did that for a while. Then I sat in my car and looked at my sales online on my phone, and nothing happened. Then I drove home, and I kept waiting and waiting for the sales spike, and it never happened. Never happened. So you guys don't have to go to the airport. You don't have to wander around the airport and try and talk to people.
Somebody has already done that.
Oh, really? Well, it didn't work for me. Is all I can tell you. It did not work. And I tried a bunch of things. I tried Craigslist. Craigslist are free ads, of course. So I thought, well, Craigslist. My first book took place in Scotland and Canada. So I advertised on Canadian sites, Craigslist sites, and Scottish or British Craigslist sites, and then I went worldwide, and I picked major cities all over the world and advertised my book. It didn't work. I saw no noticeable spike in sales for my Craigslist ads. What I did do last Christmas, I revisited Craigslist, and I posted on local sites. and I advertised my print book, and on the ad I had a picture of my print books. I now have 5 books under a Christmas tree, and I suggested that might be a unique Christmas gift to have a signed copy of my print book. And I sold quite a few print books by doing that. So Craigslist worked for my print books, but it didn't give me that huge sales spike that I wanted to get. But there are things that you can do to market your book. Sorry, I'll just go back to that. The cake on the top right-hand corner is a cake that a friend of mine made when I had a book signing. I had a book release party. I had a book release party at my home. I have one when I release every book, and I invite my friends over, and your friends are probably going to buy your book. Hopefully they're going to buy your book. And the best way to get them to purchase your book is for them all to do it at the same time. So if they can all do it within a 1 or 2 hour period, you'll see a noticeable jump up in the rankings. The key when we release our book is to hit the hot new releases chart. We're eligible for the hot new releases chart for the first 30 days after our book's published. So our book is published. We want to procure as many reviews as we can right away, and we want to try and get on the hot new releases list. So one of the ways you can do it is have your friends download your book at the same time and get a bit of a bump up the charts and hopefully get onto the hot new releases list.
Martin, I have a question. Do you need any rating or any reviews to get there?
To get on the hot new releases list? No, it's based on sales. So you need to sell books, and you know, we release our book and we want to get on the hot new releases list, and the best way to do it is to promote through one of the major promotional sites, and I'm going to show you those sites shortly. To qualify for those promotional sites, we need reviews. We need at least 10 reviews, and we need our book to have an average rating of at least 4.0 out of 5. So it's important as we're releasing our book and before we release our book to get as many reviews as we can. I go back to my beta readers and contact my beta readers and say, listen, my book's out. I appreciate it if you'd review it as soon as you can, and so that everybody can know what I've got and what you think of it. I also submit to review sites. Again, on my Authors Tools tab, there are hundreds of reviewers that you can contact that might be interested in reviewing your book. I also have a link on there to Amazon's top 100 reviewers. These are basically bloggers that have a large following that review a lot of books. I always submit to some of those top reviewers when I have a new book out. So you need to get the word out about your book as fast as you can, get as many reviews as you can to submit to the promotional sites. But in terms of being accepted to the hot new releases list, it's based just on sales. So we need to sell as many books as we can right away when the book comes out. So during the workshop, we examine a number of different ways that we can immediately connect with readers and get the word about our book out so that we can get onto those lists. And a book release party is one of them. Local libraries, we're very fortunate in this area. Our local libraries are really open to promoting self-published authors. If you interact with your local library and tell them a little bit about your story, they may be interested in having you for a reading, and you can go in and read your book and tell your story and hopefully connect with some readers. Social networking, of course, is the other way to connect with people and tell them what you're doing. And as you can see from this partial list, there's a lot of social networking sites out there. During my workshop, we focus on the ones that work, and the ones that work are basically we don't have time to be everywhere. And when I first released my book, I was everywhere. Anywhere that I heard that authors were interacting with readers, I wanted to be there. So I was everywhere that you can imagine, and it was too much. I wasn't writing a course, and I was talking to the same people over and over again on different social media sites. Today I use Facebook, Twitter, and Goodreads, and a little bit of LinkedIn, and those are basically the sites that I concentrate on. Facebook is criticized from time to time as not being a platform where we can sell books, and I disagree with that. when we run a major promotion, our book is promoted through a marketing, a promotional site. So there's three things that happen. The promotional site will feature our book on their own website early in the morning. Then they'll send out an email to all their subscribers, and then usually early afternoon they'll feature our book on their Facebook page. The major sales spike always happens for me when my book is featured on their Facebook page. So Facebook still works in terms of reaching readers. I have a public Facebook page, and I use it to talk to my readers all the time. When I have my covers back from my cover designer, and he'll give me 3 different covers that he's working on and ask me to pick which one is best, I post those on my Facebook page and ask for input from my readers, because inevitably I'm always wrong. The one that I think is the winner is not the winner. So I get input from my readers, and they tell me what's going to work in terms of my book. So Facebook is very important to me. Goodreads is an Amazon site. It's owned by Amazon, and it's a reader's site. It's a book reader's site. So that's where the readers are. So we need to participate on Goodreads as a reader, and as well as post information about our book once our book's released, so that readers have access to it. And I find LinkedIn is a good way to find beta readers too. LinkedIn has been more important to me in terms of publicizing my workshops and events and signings and so forth. But I believe I've also connected with some readers through LinkedIn too. So the key is to not spread yourself too thin. Facebook, as I said, is really important to me. Goodreads is where the readers are. And for your third site, if you have time to participate in a third site, pick something that you like, something that you're enjoying. So if that's Pinterest or StumbleUpon or Wattpad, put your efforts in there. We break down each of these sites during the workshop, and we tell you what the benefits of each are, and how much time it's going to take you to work in those sites. When I first had input into my work, when I was doing many things wrong and I couldn't connect with readers, I had a benevolent mentor who helped me. Robert Bidinotto at that time was one of Amazon's early best-selling self-published authors, and he took the time to give me input into my cover. He rewrote my synopsis. He helped me with a number of things. And one of the things he said was, you have to utilize Amazon's tools. And so I Googled Amazon's tools, and the image that you see at the top of this slide is what came back, a toolbox. And obviously that wasn't what I needed. Amazon's tools are a number of things. One of them, of course, is Goodreads. Shelfari is also a reader's site that's listed on the slide there. And your product page is one of Amazon's tools where you can make a number of changes. Your synopsis is one of them. Pricing is also a tool that Amazon gives you. You can change your pricing whenever you like. So we address all of those things in the weekend workshop, and show you where your book should be priced in order to maximize the return. And we break down each of Amazon's tools. KDP Select is an Amazon program that all of my books are enrolled in. And it's a program that came out in 2011, and it basically changed everything. Absolutely changed everything. In order to participate in KDP Select, and KDP Select is for ebooks only, you need to have your ebook exclusive to Amazon for 90 days, so it can't be anywhere else. You can only sell through Amazon, through KDP. The benefits to that are your book is also enrolled in a program called Prime, and Prime gives readers the opportunity to participate in the Kindle Owners Lending Library. So this is a library where folks who are enrolled in Prime pay a monthly fee, and they can borrow your book. They can borrow your book from the Kindle Owners Lending Library. Each time your book is borrowed, you're paid a dollar amount. The dollar amounts have ranged from $1.50 to $2.50 each month. Now, the Kindle Owners Lending Library, the Prime members, are allowed one borrow per month. So if somebody picks my book, it's quite an honor that my book was their one choice for the month. So I always enjoy getting borrows. Kindle Unlimited is a new program, or a newish program that Amazon have, and it's a Netflix type program for readers. So readers pay a monthly fee, and they're allowed unlimited access to lots of books. And if your book is picked and the reader reads 10% or more of your book, then again you're paid on that. And again, the borrow is anywhere from $1.50 to $2.50 per book. And I receive hundreds of borrows each month, so it's an additional source of revenue from my book. They also make available 2 promotions that you can run in your books, either a free promotion or a Kindle Countdown promotion. And both are effective ways to connect with readers. Pardon me, I'll just move to the next slide. So free promotions are basically you give away your masterpiece for free. You take a set amount of time, anywhere from 1 to 5 days within each 90-day enrollment period, and you can give your book away. So you give your book away, and people are able to pick up your book for free. The idea is that it gains enough traction in the popularity charts so that when it goes back as a paid sale, you sell some books at your retail price. When I ran my first free promotion, my timing was very fortuitous. I ran my first promotion at the beginning of 2012, and I gave away 50,000 books in a 3-day period over a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Every time I touched refreshed my dashboard, it was jumping up, and people all over the world were taking my book. I reached #1 on Amazon's pre-rankings charts, and it was quite a magical time. Monday morning hit, and I wondered if anybody would be interested in paying $3.99 for a book that had been given away all weekend long. They were. On the Monday I sold 800 books. On the Tuesday I sold 2,000, or 2,000. On the Wednesday I believe it was 3,000, and I sold a lot of books. The system has changed since then, and the sales spike that comes after running a free promotion isn't as generous as it was at that time, but you still will sell books. And if you have a book that's a series of books, you'll certainly sell books within the series. After my first free promotion, I ran a couple of others that did quite well, never as well as the first one, and then I didn't run a free promotion for over a year. I recently ran 2 others after taking that year off, and both were very effective for different reasons. First one that I ran, I picked up a number of new reviews. I had over 50 new reviews across all 5 books after running a free promotion on one book. I also sold hundreds of my other books during the free promotion, and then I entered into a consistent period of sales with the featured book after it went back to paid, and it lifted the sales of all of my books for a good period of time. I ran another free promotion 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I haven't seen the reviews, the amount of reviews that I did with my previous free promotion, but I've seen an increase in sales on all my books. Free promotions are especially effective if you have a series of books. But even if you don't, they can still be a great way to get the word out and sell some books. The other promotion that you can do as an enrollee in KDP Select is a Kindle Countdown deal. Kindle Countdown deal allows you to reduce your price to 99 cents for up to 5 days, or you can have it incrementally raised from 99 cents back to your regular price over the 5 days too. Usually, when we drop our price to 99 cents, we go from a 70% royalty rate to a 35% royalty rate. And our books, when we price our books between $2.99 and $9.99, we're at a 70% rate. Anything below $2.99 or above $9.99, we dropped to 35%. During the Kindle Countdown deal, Amazon pays a 70% royalty even at the 99-cent price. So even though we're below that $2.99, for that set period of time of up to 5 days, we receive 70% royalty. So it's a great way to sell a lot of books and still be earning 70%. Kindle Countdown deals consistently have been a great way to sell books since the Kindle Countdown deal was announced. And I use a Kindle Countdown deal pretty well every month to feature one of my books. Typically, I'll sell a bunch of books during the promotion, and then it keeps going afterwards once my book goes back to retail, and it spreads amongst my other books too. So those are the two promotional opportunities that you're given when you are a member of KDP Select. You can't just run one of those promotions. You need to be able to promote the promotion somewhere else, and there are promotional sites that'll do that for you. I've got 3 of them featured on the page here, and to me, these are the 3 most effective sites right now. If your budget is in the $25 to $50 range, Free Kindle Books and Tips or eReader News Today are 2 sites that you might want to have a look at. If your budget is beyond that, and I have $150 to $700 here, the pricing actually can go up from that $700. It can go over $1,000 for BookBub, and BookBub have 2 million subscribers, and BookBub will get word about your book out to their subscribers. Depending on what your genre is, the more popular genres will cost more for the ad. So again, you're going to run a promotion that's either a free book promotion or a Kindle Countdown deal, and you're going to supplement that by promoting your promotion on one of these 3 sites. These 3 sites are more difficult to be accepted on because we all want to be there. They're going to look at your cover, your synopsis, your reviews in terms of the amount of reviews, your average review rating, and they're going to pick the best books and feature them on our sites. During our workshop, we break down each one of those components and show you how to produce the best books so that you will indeed be accepted on one of these sites. And again, during the workshop, we do a thing called an in-progress promotion that shows one of our books being promoted on one of these sites, either as a Kindle Countdown deal or as a free book, and we show you throughout the weekend how many books we're selling and where it is on the rankings. So you need to utilize one of these sites to promote your promotion.
Okay. Martin, before you continue, I just have 3 questions from people. One is, Antoine is asking, do you only sell print copies through Amazon's print on demand, or do you print in bulk at all?
I produced my print books through CreateSpace, which is an Amazon company. By releasing and by producing them through CreateSpace, they're then available on Amazon sites. CreateSpace have an expanded distribution feature that used to be a cost feature. Now it's free. And the expanded distribution feature allows your book to be ordered by Ingram's, which is the big book wholesaler, libraries, and many other bookstores. So my books are available to any store that wants to order them through CreateSpace, as well as being sold through Amazon. In addition to that, I will order books. I order cases of books, and if I go to a book signing or an event, I have to print books.
Okay, now another question is that Cheryl is asking, why is the hot new release chart important?
Because that's where Amazon are diverting eyes to. Amazon, when folks go onto their website and they click on different areas, they're sending them to the hot new releases. So they give a lot of space to the hot new releases list. So it's where we want to be, because by being on that list, we'll see an increase in sales. They've even broken down the hot new releases list now by genre. So there's a hot new release list for each genre that they have. So it's where they're diverting eyeballs to. So we want to be there.
Okay, I can relate to that as well. When I started my radio show, my radio, like the new radio show that they started, it's actually ranking on #1 most popular marketing show. And as soon as it started ranking at the #1 most popular marketing show, because it's top there, everybody else is want to watch that show. So it just started gaining more momentum. It was just because, as you said, like it's the main website is driving eyeballs to that place, and more people will see it, and more people want to get it, and more people want to get more information.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then we have another question from Rob, and he asks, what about Amazon selling your used books? Nothing for you, it hurts retail sales. How about that?
Well, that's print books, and that's going to happen no matter who's selling your print book. If you go into a bookstore, you may find used print books. I don't believe it's hurt me at all. I enjoy seeing my books in bookstores. So when you see those used books sold through Amazon, those are independent sellers who are selling on Amazon. It's not actually Amazon. Remember, Amazon's just the distributor. You're the publisher. So those are other outlets that are selling used books. So I have no problem with, it's going to happen whether it's advertised on Amazon or a used bookstore or eBay or wherever. I'd like my books to be everywhere.
Okay, perfect. So you can go on. Thanks.
Thank you. We just examined the major ways of connecting with readers, and I pointed out the two of the ways that are working very effectively right now. But there's other things we can do. Eman just talked about his new radio show that's doing so well on Blog Talk Radio. blogtalkradio.com may want to talk to you. They have many shows that are devoted to books and authors, and they're looking for people to talk to. So you may want to approach them and see if they'd like to interview you. Bear in mind, as you submit or query each host or show, you need to give them a story. You need to just telling them that you've written a book isn't enough. There's lots of people that have written books. My story was kind of unique in that I was the guy that kept getting turned down. I was turned down 130 times and by traditional publishers and agents, and then I managed to do it myself and sold quite a few books. So that's kind of a unique story, or a neat story, and I was able to be interviewed on a number of different shows. Three names that I'll give you that are often looking for authors to talk to are Pam White. Pam has the Authors on the Air radio show. Pam Stack has the Authors on the Air radio show. Ann White has a great show too. And Cyrus Webb has a show that he had a recent broadcast where 60,000 people. So if you could connect with 60,000 people by sitting at home and talking on your phone, and your voice was transmitted to 60,000 people, it's well worth doing, and it costs you nothing, of course. So Blog Talk Radio is somewhere that you may want to pursue. Blogging is another option. Blogging, if nothing else, is a great way to practice writing, and we all want to become better writers, of course. So blogging is a good way to connect with authors. I blog as often as I can, and I share some self-publishing tips and talk about things that are working for me, and talk about anything that I want to talk about. Really, having your own blog is a great thing. I'm a soccer fan, and I wrote a blog not too long ago about my favorite team, about Manchester United, and so it was a great way for me to just talk about something that I enjoy. Blogger is a site where you can post your blog, or if you have your own website, of course, you can post your blog through there. And you can submit articles. There's a number of sites that are always looking for interesting articles, and you don't need to have a finished product to submit an article. Indies Unlimited is a site that's probably the most helpful site anywhere to self-published authors. And there's been articles on there about the process and where different authors are in the process. And it's a great way to get your name out there and connect with readers, and also interact with other authors that are doing the same thing that you are. And I always talk about surrounding yourself with like-minded souls. I have a group of author friends, and we share information with each other, and I know which marketing sites are working and what isn't, and and what's hot right now and what isn't, and I have information on genres that I don't write in, and that information is all helpful. So surround yourself with folks that are on the same career path as you are, that are running their career in an honest, ethical manner, and you'll be able to find some of those by writing for sites like Indies Unlimited. On the bottom left is Bragg. Bragg is Book Readers Appreciation Group, and they may be looking for your book. Once you get your book released, you can submit your book to Bragg, and you're submitting an ebook, of course, so it doesn't cost a lot of money to send an ebook. And if their readers enjoy your book, they'll award you a Bragg medallion, which is what you see on the screen. So then you can mark it that your book has been read by professional readers and reviewers and been awarded a Bragg medallion. And the bottom right-hand side of the screen is box sets. Box sets are working very well these days in terms of authors putting together a number of their novels in an ebook box set. This is an ebook, not a print book, and releasing a number of their novels together, or a number of their books together at a reduced price for a limited number of time. I have author friends who saw their sales double and then triple after releasing box sets, and their sales stayed there. So a box set is a way that many authors have managed to reach the USA Today and New York Times best-selling lists by releasing a box set and introducing readers to the rest of their work. And finally, with all this information I've given you, and you're thinking, how am I going to have time to do all this? And we're going to talk about balance a little bit. And you don't have to balance yourself the way the guy in the picture is there. By the way, I'll tell you a quick story about pictures. All the pictures on my PowerPoint display are free pictures, and I'm allowed to use the pictures. That wasn't always the case. I mistakenly used a picture that belonged to Getty Images a couple of years ago, and Getty sent me a letter and threatened to sue me for using their picture without permission. So we came to an agreement, and I gladly paid for the picture, and the photographer was paid. And it was certainly a mistake. I had picked up the picture through Google. So be very careful that you have permission to use the pictures that you're using in your blogs and website and so forth. One of the places you can find free pictures, again, is going to the Authors Tools tab on my website, and there's listings of tens of thousands of free pictures there that you'll be able to use.
Yeah, Martin, actually, it's an interesting thing because many people ask me about this. Can you tell people what was the original money that they asked you to pay when they realized that you're using their picture?
Lots of money. It was lots of money. It was, I believe, it was $2,000 that they wanted, and the end result was I paid $500, and $500 was certainly on the high side for a picture. But I paid the money just to resolve the situation. So it's very, very important that you use pictures that aren't owned by somebody else that you have permission to use. So again, please use those sites that I list under my tab, and use pictures that you have permission to use.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
Thank you. And yeah, so balance. We need to, at the end of the day, after publishing our book and doing all these things, we need to write another book. We need to concentrate on writing more than non-writing related tasks. Russell Blake is a high-profile, very successful self-published author. He actually just co-wrote a book with Clive Cussler, and he preaches 70-30. He says we should be writing 70% of the time and focusing on non-writing related tasks 30% of the time. And non-writing related tasks would be everything from networking on Facebook to scouring out the latest promotional sites, working on our synopsis, changing our categories, all that kind of stuff. I got to the point where I was doing the other stuff, the non-writing stuff, far more than I was writing. And a really neat thing happens once you have a successful book. You have readers contact you and say, we enjoyed your book, we want more. So I had a market. I have a market for more product. I'm a really lucky guy. I have emails all the time asking me where my next book is. So I need to concentrate on writing more than non-writing related tasks. So I needed to find a way to do that. And I thought even if I could get to 50-50, I'd be happy. I wasn't even at 50-50. And I'm a numbers and a lists guy. So I came up with a spreadsheet. I came up with a spreadsheet that would monitor my daily word count. And this is just a simple little spreadsheet I came up with. As you can see, I have days in the first column, then the date in the second column. In the third column, I list what project I'm working on. Then if I want any notes, I list the notes. Then I put in what my words for that day were and the running total. So I came up with this, and again, I'm fortunate. The majority of my working day I can devote to writing. So my target was 1,000 words a day, and I got to the point where I was producing 1,000 words a day every day quite easily. The area I was neglecting was my revisions. I need to be constantly revising my work, and I wasn't doing that. So I revised my spreadsheet, and I added the last two columns, which was today's revised words and a running total of the revised words. So I decided I was going to go over at least 3,000 words in revisions every day and total them up. So fortunately, I'm now at the point where I can do that every day. Now again, I'm a lucky guy. I'm a writer. I get to do this stuff. Not everybody can devote that amount of time to it. I encourage you to pick a number that's doable. Pick a number that you can get to. So if it's 100 words a day or 200 words a day or 500 words a day, pick that number. If it's an amount of time, use that. If it's 20 minutes or 15 minutes or an hour each day, use that in terms of reaching your goal. Once you reach your goal, you can always build from there. But please pick a number or a period of time that is attainable, and then build on it from there. And as you can see, the advantages that I've listed on the left-hand side here, it monitors and encourages true progress. You can really see what you're doing. And it also shows where your focus is in terms of if you have several projects on the go. I list my blogs on there too, not just my works in progress, because blogging is writing too. So if I find I have a few days where I'm just working on blogs, I may need to have a look at that and get back to working on my work in progress. And it helps you reach a comfortable rate of writing versus non-writing tasks. And again, we need to be writing more than doing the other stuff. And it's taken away that feeling of being overwhelmed to me, because at the end of the day, I want to be known as a writer. I want people talking about my work, so I need to work more on my writing than anything else. And so if I ever feel like I'm starting to feel overwhelmed, I can go to my spreadsheet and see that I am indeed working on writing. So I hope that takes away. I know this has been lots of information in a short period of time, and during our workshop it's even more information because we're actually doing the work. So I hope the balance spreadsheet takes away a little bit of that feeling that this is just too much information. I can tell you that with each book that I've produced, it gets easier each time. I have the systems in place. I know what I need to do to procure beta readers. I know what I need to do to procure reviewers. I have a cover designer. I have an editor. I know how to pick categories. So each time it becomes easier and easier, and I'm actually devoting more time to writing than non-writing related tasks. So finally, at the end of this, I can help you, and I'm happy to help you any way I can. If you'd like to email me with questions, I'm happy to answer them. The big event of the year for me is our Secrets of the Bestseller Weekend. It's coming up in a couple of weeks, November 15th and 16th. It's in downtown Vancouver, and it's a 2-day hands-on workshop. It's 2 days where we actually take you through the process. So we hold your hand and show you how to do all these things with your book. If you have a book ready to go, it's a great opportunity for us to show you each step of the way exactly how to do it. Our in-progress promotion is very popular because we're actually showing you that this works, that these systems work. We take at least one of our books. I teach this course in conjunction with the Vancouver School of Writing. and I teach with Catherine Lake. So we take either one of my books or one of Catherine's books, and we promote it using one of the methods that we've outlined. Excuse me, and show you it rising up the rankings and show you it selling books throughout the weekend. And we've had some phenomenal numbers during our weekends. And many of the attendees that have attended past workshops have released their books and have raced past us up the rankings when they released their books and have done very well. It's really nice that we've had a number of success stories that have come from the workshops that we've taught. We have a little bit of Canadian content during the workshop too. We talk about an ITIN, which is a tax number that you will need to apply for in order to stop Amazon from withholding 30% of your royalty checks for U.S. taxes. Canada has a tax agreement with the U.S., and with an ITIN, Amazon won't withhold that 30%. So you'll get all your money, and you only have to deal with the Canadian Revenue Agency. So we talk about taxes too, which is very important for Canadians. We talk about royalty rates. We talk about the promotion sites that work. We break down Author Central. We give you that great exercise on categories, so that we show you how to pick the category specifically for your book that'll get you to #1. So I'd love for you guys to come and join us. We've discounted the price from it goes to $299 on November 1st. Right now it's $199, but we've discounted it even another $20 in the hopes that all you guys come and join us to $179. So at $179 for a weekend workshop, it truly is the best deal in town. The link is right there.
On the right side of the screen, you can see the link
right side of the
today.
And the coupon code is there too. That'll get you the $20 off to get the price to $179. So I'd love to see you there. And I think that's it for me, man. I think that's my presentation. I really thank you for giving me the opportunity to do this too, as my voice fades on me.
Yeah, actually, Martin, really thank you very much. I've listened to a lot of book writing presentations and different people. So technically what happened was that when I went to this presentation that Martin was having, I was sitting there and I was just taking notes and notes and notes and notes, and I'm like, okay, this is just too good, to just let Martin to just just like keep this presentation to only that group. I really need to get Martin and share this information with everybody that I know, and like on my mailing list and on my connections. And the reason, and barely you find a person who comes out and shares this much information with everyone, and just this is the information that you can literally help you to take your business and jump start and going to the next level. Now, what Martin was talking about is on writing your book and just publishing it and getting hundreds of people to buy it and getting thousands of people to download your book. But here is a technique that I want to teach you that you can use to actually bring those people back to your business. And one of the things you can do is that at the very beginning of your book, at the very beginning of your ebooks, what you can do is to give people access to additional resources. So a person is downloading your book on something that you have expertise, right? Then definitely that person is interested about more information, is interested in more information. So what I would do, I would create an additional website, and on that website, I would give them those additional resources. But to give them access to those additional resources, I would get them to enter their name and email to join the mailing list to get those additional resources. So think about it this way. The person has downloaded your book, either has paid for it or hasn't paid. Let's say the person has paid for it. So the person has paid $4 on Kindle to buy your book, then goes to your website, enters the name and email, joins your mailing list, and then After they join your mailing list, they go through your email sequences. And if you have a good email sequence, the person picks up the phone and calls you or goes to your website and buys your products as well. So if you want to compare this strategy with the Facebook strategy, we absolutely do the other way on Facebook strategy. What we do on Facebook, we go and pay Facebook $1, $2, $5 to get people to come to our website to enter their name and email. So with this strategy, people pay you to go to enter their name and email. With Facebook strategy, which is one of the best strategies, or with Google, you pay them so you get people to go to your mailing list. But here's the thing. If I see an ad and I go and enter my name and email to your mailing list, I don't really know how good you are because you haven't positioned yourself as the go-to expert. But if I buy your book and then I go and enter my name and email, I already know you as the author. So you are already a go-to expert to me. And it's great for me to work with you so you have high credibility with me. Do you see the difference? So in this strategy, you make money while you are growing your business. Comparing to all other marketing strategies that is out there, comparing to all of them, this is far more superior to any other marketing strategy. And there is another thing about that. When you do it on Facebook or when you bring people to your website, you have a limited number of people that you can attract. But on Amazon, there is hundreds of thousands of people every day that go to that website and they search and they can find you. And if you use the strategies that Martin is teaching about marketing your book, and you can get your book on top of the popularity rank and on top of the popularity listing or on top of the hot new releases or on all those free promotions and bump up your statistics and get more and more people download. This is the heaven of marketing in a way. I can't say and when I was listening to Martin, I'm like, okay, this is the most amazing marketing strategy that I know. And those of you who know me know that I'm an advanced online marketing strategist. I've done amazing things with online marketing. But this is far more superior than anything that is available out there. And if you do it properly, you can definitely make a ton of money and change a lot of people's lives, because writing these books is not just about making money. Writing these books is helping people to change their lives. If you write a good book, and the thing about Martin is that a lot of people go out and talk about selling books, but they talk about selling low quality books. But the way that Martin talks is you get beta readers to read your book. You make sure that you are writing good copy. You are making sure that you are doing something that's changing people's lives. Do you see? That's why I was just totally sold on Martin and what he was saying and his authenticity and the thing that he was bringing to the market. And that's not really easy to find between people who are doing marketing and are teaching marketing. And that's why I was so pleased with listening to Martin and really wanted to share his message with more people. And the power of what he's talking about, combined with other marketing strategies and making sure that inside the book you have all these marketing strategies already set up, that's amazing. So I definitely would recommend that everybody attend that workshop on the weekend workshop. And at the weekend workshop, you can write your book, you can launch, and you can go to the next level. Okay, thanks everybody, and thanks Martin. I really appreciate it. Do you have any other last words, Martin?
No, again, thank you very much. We'll keep the coupon code of 20 off today open till midnight tonight to give folks the opportunity to get it at the set $179 price. And it looks like we've had at least one of our attendees signed up just in the last couple of minutes. I just received an alert, so thank you for that. And I hope I see all of you guys there.
That's awesome. Yeah, so for those of you who are signing up, you know that you're going to become a best-selling author, and what do you want better than becoming a best-selling author, growing your business, positioning yourself as a go-to expert, and changing other people's lives. Now, just so you know, if you are on the live webinar and you want to, for example, sign up in 2 hours from now, pick up that code. So pick up that web address, vswonline.org, and that coupon code, because as soon as I stop this webinar, that button will go away and you can't see the button, so you need to get access to the website. So the website address is vswonline.org, and the coupon code is 20 off today. If you want to sign up right now, go to the right side of the screen, click on sign up today, and use the coupon code 20 off today. Thanks, Martin, and thanks everybody for being on the call. It was amazing to host you, Martin, and thanks for all amazing information that you shared.
Thanks, everybody.
My pleasure. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.